Okay, I have I have a lot to share, but I also have a lot of questions.
I've been making you hold it in, so now's your chance.
Oh my God.
Here's your chance. Spill it.
No, you're going first. Okay. How was
You've been bursting at the seams to tell me about this lady. So God, why are we even gonna act like we have an intro?
I want it to flow naturally. Is what I want. Okay. How was your Melissa Thomas? Happy freaking Monday.
Happy first day of school. So
how was your first day of school? How was your first day of school? Happy freaking Monday. How was your first day of school?
It was great. It was great. I love school. I love fresh.
Back in the class.
Yeah.
Back in the classroom.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. I think the last 2 weeks really, I'm like, okay, like I'm ready for a routine again.
Yeah. A little more structure.
Yeah. So that's, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it was good. I'm super excited.
In your 2 weeks though, I feel like you got a lot.
I was off for a lot longer than that.
Oh yeah.
It's been like
a
5
month?
Yeah, it's been like 5 weeks.
Dang.
Yeah.
I feel like that time flew by anyway.
Yeah, it did.
Seems
I was busy
Yeah.
with house stuff, but
And how do you feel, okay, as far as your time in between positions, companies, do you feel like you accomplished as much as you wanted to?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
From like
much
end
needed.
to start. Okay, yeah.
So glad I did that. So grateful I had that. Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
Good. Yeah. Update on house. What's your anticipated move-in time or move-in date?
I will be in that house by the end of the month.
Mark her words.
I will be.
End of June. Okay, yeah. Going into 4th of July holiday, you'll be in.
I want to be out of mine. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Any exciting updates you want to highlight or share? Your floors are freaking cool.
Yeah, thank you. Well,
I mean, all of it is. But the floors look really good.
Over the last week, I've been brainstorming a lot of ideas of like what that place could be.
Than just
I mean, it's gonna be my home for a while, but it can also potentially be a lot of other things. So that's been fun, just kind of thinking about that. And I was traveling last week and kind of getting some inspiration there. And, like a change of scenery is just so good for the soul,
refreshing,
Yeah. And so just sort of getting out of your comfort zone, getting out of the, day-to-day just routines that you have, shaking it up, mixing it up.
The mundane. Your energy. Well, especially, and then not just travel out of the country.
Yeah.
Like not just within the U.S.
Yeah, exposing yourself to new city, new culture, obviously all kinds of new experiences involved in that. So just kind of like gets your creative juices flowing. And
Flow. Give it.
Yeah. What? Mexico City was like.
Tell us. Mind-blowing?
I mean, I knew it was going to be cool. I knew it was going to be a great trip, but like, it was a great
Incredible.
trip. It was a great trip.
For so many reasons.
Many
reasons.
Yeah.
Nate, I think we talked about it a little bit. What was one of your highlights? Like one of your big takeaways from the trip?
Big takeaways?
I feel like when you're traveling, like you're exposed to something when you come back home, you're like, okay, I want to be doing something a little bit different, like bringing that culture back and doing something in your own personal life a little differently, or whatever new perspective maybe you gained while there.
I think we stayed in an adorable Airbnb, like in a really great location.
Really
so
cute.
Being able to walk everywhere, like I used to live in a city like that, I love that. I love walkability. And not just to like, I mean, we stepped out of the Airbnb and just walked a few blocks, and then it's like all kinds of amazing places to go, to eat, to shop, everything. And so that's just so exciting and fun. Yeah, we were saying that one of the things that we were most surprised about was how green it was.
In the city center.
Yeah, tons of big trees. So it was.
For reference, I mean, I Googled the metro's population there.
I think it was like 7 million, isn't it?
Oh.
It's way more.
7? I think it's 7 to 8. Metro's like 20.
Yeah, it's a huge city. It was huge.
In comparison to Oklahoma
it's like
City's
we feel like we
1.2,
barely scratched the
1.3.
surface.
Yeah. Like you could be, similar to Italy. You could be there and go back countless times and never feel it all, see it all, experience it all,
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? That in just one city.
I'll tell you what, after Oklahoma City Thunder wins the NBA.
What, are we going to blow up?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the real estate for it. Are you kidding me?
It's great for our city.
In rural Oklahoma, we are just going to be busting out the seams. in Jones and in Luther.
It already kind of is.
I know.
It already kind of is. It's been trending out this way for a while.
Yeah. We're currently in Edmond.
Yeah. I forgot that this neighborhood was east of the highway. I thought it was just west of the highway.
So convenient.
This is a great location.
It is a great.
Super convenient.
Ask for coffee. 4 minutes away, 5 minutes away.
And it looks like some commercial stuff is going in right when you turn in.
Yeah. It's a
damn. That huge, nice building, I was like, this is an orthodontist office. I was like, damn.
What's so funny, when I officiated Mackenzie and John's wedding last summer, I was helping with luggage. One of the bridesmaids needed to pick up luggage. Anyway, I was kind of like Sherpa that day too. So I picked luggage up, brought it back to the wedding venue, and I thought that was I was like, is this not the hotel that I picked? It was an orthodontist spot, but I think the one I'm thinking of is over by that new movie theater on, must be Cobell.
Oh yeah.
Like anyway, it was I love Edmond. It all looks kind of the same though, and I was like, damn. I was like, I'm kind of turned around, and that doesn't happen often. I was like, where am I? Yeah, but it was just an orthodontia. Is it orthodontia?
I was like, were you yapping? You probably just got distracted.
I was driving very, very safely with my phone on the charger.
That's your new thing now, huh?
Of excellence.
Of excellence.
I don't text and drive. I'm kidding. I texted and drove this morning just a little bit, but then I caught myself. I'm like, Jenna, put your phone down. It's fine. Whatever it is. Hi, Moosey Boo.
He went to be in the podcast.
Get in here, Bubba. Moose has recently graduated from dog training.
Moose, it's okay.
And
he's confused by these cameras.
Oh my gosh.
Oh dear.
Look at his wagging. You really did luck out with that.
I know.
I know. It's kind of crazy. Like humans, right? In trauma, who knows what the heck happened to him before he's been in your care. You know what I mean? I can't. Maybe not that much because he's still he's a really good boy.
He is.
So he wasn't harmed.
But who knows what his siblings are like?
I know. I swear that dog that someone
I got lucky.
That one that someone posted and I swear that was
I know it's got to be
something. Yeah.
You have a long lost brother, Moosey?
With a black tongue? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Ooh, let's talk real estate.
Okay, let's do.
Let's talk real estate before we talk about all the other fun stuff going on in life.
So you've done a little research for us.
Man, I was looking at the numbers.
Okay, we know she's a numbers girl.
It brings me no greater joy than to look at the numbers to deep dive.
All right, hit me. What'd you find?
Okay, frame of reference. Let's go back. Our market has shifted immensely in the last 4 to 5 years.
Oh.
And I think
night and day.
People know, people remember that feeling during we're going to touch on 2020 a little bit, just for reference, of course, but 2021 is where we really saw,
crazy things happening.
Up. Yeah. Because everybody loved seeing those interest rates with a 2 or 3 in it,
How could you not?
So you think very competitive, right? As a buyer, it was a very competitive market. Sellers, they were getting over ask. Oh my God.
Never thought that was stressful as hell. I learned what an escalation clause was back then.
Yeah.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah.
And then it became the standard. It's
when we were doing our real estate school, eons ago, it's like, oh yeah, we're probably never gonna have to use that. Oh, we used it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, that was
riparian rights. I'm like, what?
That was fun.
Yeah. I will say 2020, that summer, that was a good year for me. Oh my God. I served so many families, helped so many clients. Was there burnout? 100%. And did I win almost every multiple offer situation? Yeah. Because
how did you do that?
That's the athlete in me. I'm like, I'm here to win. Let's do it. If we're gonna do the thing, let's do it. Okay, snapshot. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna look at the stats.
Yeah.
So 2021 for reference, right? We're fast forward 2020 because that
was kind of weird times.
It was from January. The numbers show from January to March, they were pretty similar to what they were in 2019 leading up to 20, right? So
come March, once everything shut down.
Oh, it went almost just radio silence. People didn't know what was up. Paired after it became sort of the new normal, right? Everything, homes on market went down, right? We could 2 to 3 months of inventory. There weren't enough homes, and builders couldn't put them up fast enough. And there were no incentives for being given by builders. There were no seller concessions being given. The deal you got was getting the house.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and remember how many people were under contract and on new construction and because of the cost that went up so rapidly, builders were changing contract prices. I mean, that happened to me. We went under contract for a new build at X amount.
And by the time they're ready to close.
And by the time 8 months later that they were ready to close, their costs had gone up so much that they Yeah, they were basically like, pay the difference or we're going to put it on the market.
Which I can't remember how that shook out. Your clients, it was relatives, right?
Yeah.
Your cousins. They ended up purchasing.
Yeah, it was a battle.
I remember that.
It was a battle.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was talking to our broker at the time, and
which was I can't remember.
It was a Solus.
Yeah. Okay.
And
like, are we renegotiating contract terms weeks before closing?
Exactly.
That seems a
well, it wasn't
fishy.
weeks before, but it was still like we went under contract at a certain price, and now just because. But again, unprecedented times. So
and
basically, I talked with other agents in our office, and like everyone was saying, "Oh yeah," like, and their builders were raising the prices a lot more than what mine was asking for. So I was like, eek, okay. Again, good information to have. So I was able to take that back to my clients and say, hey, listen, this is kind of happening around the board, So like,
you're not the only one. However,
yeah.
Do you want this house or not?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
And at that time, it's like, okay, yeah, we need it. Weren't they?
They were having a baby.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's so hard to lenders, builders, anybody not a realtor with feet on the ground in the thick of things with their clients. Oh, they're just like, oh yeah, that's fine. Just they'll get it, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, but we're on the front lines with them. You know what I mean? Like we are the ones that are navigating emotions and feelings and the nuances of all that. And it's tough sometimes, but ultimately at the end of the day, we can't make decisions for them. We can just give them the information and they can decide how they want to handle it moving forward. Oh man, that breaks my heart. I forgot that was. Yeah. I remember that agent.
You know what? It's fine because they've still got a shit ton of equity. So
yeah. So back to that. Let's go back. We're gonna make this as layman's terms as we possibly can.
Okay.
And keep in mind, 2025. It's only June, so we're only pulling stats for the first 5 months, right?
Okay.
But I don't foresee anything drastic going on. Rates are not going to drop to 3, and I don't think rates are going back down to 3, right?
No.
So with the idea that the trajectory is still going to be pretty quote unquote stable, right? Okay, so so for the reference, 2020 active listing range, there's about 10,000 in January 2020, remember, gradually after COVID hit, shut down in March, gradually going down to about 7,500 as COVID ramped up in 2020 in December, active listings was 7,500. So 2021 active listings roughly around in the metro, so that's 10 counties.
Okay.
Roughly around 7,000, right? So still seeing that low. Still dipping down below 10 what it was before COVID hit, right?
Okay.
Let me go back to 2025 active listing range year to date about 12,000. So 7,500 in the thick of it during 2021 COVID to 12,000. That's a big difference.
Sorry, when was 12,000?
Active listings.
Now?
In the metro, 12,000.
Right okay.
Right now.
Damn.
That difference, 7,500 to almost, one of them on here.
So a lot more listings and much higher rates.
We've got so much inventory. It's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
That shows it's a buyer's market. So, and then fast forward, let's go even.
Dang.
Okay.
It's weird because it doesn't feel like there's that much inventory to me.
But when you take a look at the snapshot of that year alone, that's a huge difference.
That's a big difference.
7,500 to 12,2.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
So, buyers, if you're out there, you want something, go ask for it. Go ask for it.
That's exactly right.
The answer will
and the reality is they are. We know from having listings, they are.
Oh my God.
They're asking for it.
They're asking for it.
You'll find out real quick if your seller's willing to make a deal or not.
Yep. Okay, so let's go to, I got 2 other stats for us. Days to sell, circa 2021.
Okay.
19 to 42. Keep in mind, this also includes some rural, McLean, Logan, Kingfisher,
Well, because at the peak of it, it was like
3.
Yeah, like ASAP.
And multiple offers, yeah. So average days to sell, 19 to 42 days to sell.
That's interesting. Okay.
2025.
Oh my God, what is it?
And this is where sellers are really feeling it right now. 47 to 60 days to sell.
Ooh.
We're sitting in one of my listings right now, my active listings. Yeah. We're almost 30 days on market.
Okay.
I'm not worried.
Yeah, that's a great house.
It's staged to perfection.
Yeah, it's so cute.
price per square foot in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it's great.
Condition in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Michaela Mount in the backyard also. In the backyard.
I know.
The
It
birds
is.
chirping, s'mores back there.
I didn't realize it was a fire pit. I don't know why. I thought it was like a water
I know.
feature
It's
that
really
was just
cool.
dried up. But yeah, it's
I'm not
really
in the
nice.
market, but I would buy this house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not in the market for
Oh, it's
this
so cute.
property.
It's a great floor plan.
It's-
The layout is awesome. I've never seen this. That extra little like hangout
Flex
room.
space, yeah.
I love how I mentioned that.
The shoulder. It's
A little.
the kids put their little like rubber
Hide,
mat
yeah,
puzzle pieces
hide
on
your
there.
stuff over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your kids in there. Okay. One last stat. There's two. I have two more.
Nay.
We kind of already touched on it. 2021 months of inventory, 2 to 3 months of inventory. That's indicative of a seller's market, right? If it's less than 3 months of inventory, that's a seller's market. 2025, we're looking at 5 to 7 months of inventory. Buyers, if you're out there, if you're listening, find your local realtor.
Yeah,
Your
go get
happy realtor. Go
Yeah.
buy a house.
Yeah.
There are incentives they're being given by sellers.
That's
there
right.
are concessions with builders. There are programs. There are down payment assistance programs. Like, go get you some.
Yeah.
This is the market. I posted something on Instagram the other night. I was like, not to be dramatic, but this is where the market where millionaires are made.
Yeah, it's very true.
Go buy something.
In a down market.
If you can afford it and you're comfortable doing that, go do that.
Yeah. You can get into it for very little money out of pocket,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah. So
why that interest rate might be deterring you or might be like, eek, hurting you.
Right.
Think about the cash out of pocket that you could potentially be saving.
Right. Right.
You know?
And
again, there's always opportunity to refi if
Yes.
rates go down.
Yes.
So it's like, get a deal now.
Yeah. And
While there's deals to be made.
And Robin Turney will
Yeah.
definitely do your refi.
There you go.
She will.
Of
I
course.
know.
Of course she will.
I think she gets back from Paris tomorrow. It's Wednesday. I have it on my calendar. Okay, so the last stat I have, 2021 average sales price. This is where
okay, for
and
the metro? For the metro?
Metro. Yep. I was.
Does it start with a 2 or a 3?
Is it 2?
Yeah. 295?
Because we've still got those rule. Oh,
296?
Oh
What
my
is
gosh,
it? What is it?
I love this. Okay, so 2020.
285. I don't know.
Circa 20. You're not far off.
Okay.
Circa 2021 average sales price. The 10 counties metro. 232K.
Really?
To 265K ranging, right?
Wow, that's pretty low.
Take a step.
That's 2020?
2021.
232 to 260 something?
265.
Okay. Now?
2025 average sales price 293 to 318. So we're in those
Okay.
three range now.
Okay.
That's a matter of 4 years difference.
I know. What percentage is that, I wonder?
That's a great question. I'd have to run those numbers after our episode. But I think so
It's a lot. It's a pretty...
to wrap it up in a big bow, buyer's market, go do the things, Mr.
Yeah.
and Mrs. Buyer.
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I hate it, but you might take it in the teeth.
Yeah, I know. You might.
I don't love that. However, if you're trying to make moves and you're trying to, and sometimes it's not, sometimes it's in i.e. one of our other clients, right? Sometimes it's not, it's sometimes devastating, I guess is what I'm saying. Because whether we're bringing money to closing as a seller, whether we're conceding out the rear end because we've got to put a deal together. Sellers are hurting, and paired with days on market.
Yeah, yeah, it can be really tough.
It's gonna be, it's as sad as it is for some in this market, it is very advantageous for others, you know? That's like the sad.
But that's
the
where
sad
it's like
reality.
there's always, again, call your local realtor and like talk through. There might be options for you.
Right.
You know, you know, you and I are big proponents of never selling real estate. So if you are in a property that you have a 2 or 3% interest rate, like, don't sell that house. Do not sell that house.
Hey, lock, go get another one.
Do find a way.
Yeah.
There are ways. Find a way
Yeah.
to keep that house if you can. And a lot of people need their cash out of it, and a lot of people don't want that.
They don't want to be landlord. They don't want to be
They don't
slumlord.
want to be landlord, so I get it. But
I think what's cool about us is we always, because we are in that sector of, let's hold on to as many pieces.
But I also think it, you know, you make your money when you buy.
Yep.
And I think you and I both have an investor mind when it comes to purchasing stuff, which is purchasing properties. You know, I always go into anything I buy with an exit plan or with multiple options for it.
Yes. Like, how can this serve me?
Yeah, like I'm going to have...
Other than just...
Yeah. And granted, that doesn't work for everyone.
Right.
But
or every piece of property.
That's also true.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
But I think even presenting, I meet with clients all the time for listing appointments. It's like, have you thought about keeping this one? I'm like, I don't know. Don't sell it.
Yeah.
But I think what's so funny is like, that would mean I don't make a commission, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares? Do you want to build your portfolio? Yeah, let's do that.
Exactly.
Let me help you do that. And show you and expand your mind that you can have it all. You can do all of that.
Yeah.
So long as you want to. I mean,
Yeah,
and if you don't, that's fine. Yeah, I'll definitely sell your house.
Yeah.
But I want, like, just planting the seed of bigger picture.
Yeah, just getting people to sometimes think outside of the box that they might not even
have thought of.
There are options and opportunities that they might not even be aware of.
Right, right.
And so that's where it's fun for us.
That's at their fingertips.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like we get to just shed light and expose, and then they can just mull it over. And I met with a couple clients last week, and honestly, they're the best. My clients are the best.
My clients.
What
was the expression? My clients, they choose to pay 6%.
Oh, absolutely.
My clients? My clients?
They choose to pay 6%. Because
do you remember that? That was on my back patio.
Yeah.
We were loading our lips.
My
clients?
My clients, they choose to pay 6%. Yeah. You want to be my client?
Yeah, that's right.
You got to give a little to get a little.
That's exactly right.
And
in anything in life.
Oh, gosh. Generosity. It's so funny. Just thinking about generosity and on that lack mindset, right? One previous client of mine comes to mind. I don't even call her a client. Okay, she was for 5 to 6 months. Jackie.
The name makes me shudder.
Well, you really don't, but I don't know. Like, do you want to sell your house?
Yeah.
Though,
I mean, I faced that recently too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll pay my realtor, they pay theirs. And I was like, oh, that's not how this is going to work.
Right.
Yeah.
Because their costs of purchasing your home are now quadruple what it costs you to sell this home. And you've just priced yourself out of any buyer coming to buy this house. Anyway.
I know. I think people just like heard a tiny bit through the grapevine of.
They know enough to be dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah. Which all it takes is just an eloquent, educated realtor to explain to them. Okay, yes, absolutely. This was the law. Did you know the payout on that settlement?
It was like $20 a person or something.
Less than $25. I'm like, did they like direct deposit that, or like? Did they just like hand out gift cards?
That's how all those big lawsuits end up working out.
Which I think the sad part of that reality is I don't think the public was really exposed to the payout really and how that actually shook out.
It didn't even make a change. It
wasn't business as usual.
It was.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
I think that any real, and I also like, it makes me laugh. You and I have abundance mindsets in that regard, and I love that about you. Us, any realtor that was like, oh no, the sky's falling. I'm like, damn, okay, that sucks for you, but we still sell in real estate. We're still serving
people
our
still
clients.
have to buy and sell, so
it's a necessity.
We'll figure it out.
It's a necessity.
Yeah.
Housing was deemed a necessity during COVID. The 2 weeks in, you guys are good. Get on the roads. Do your thing. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember. Okay, this is tangent. I remember when Northwest Expressway was traffic free during COVID. I loved it. I was going to TJ Maxx.
You were at TJ Maxx. Oh my God! She could get there in record time.
12 minutes flat. I kid you.
Oh my God.
From my house in Linwood to North.
Between every showing, she's like, hell yeah, we got time.
I'll be there. Yeah. I was like, what do you guys have for me today? Anyway, but geez. I just remember that time where, we were deemed, it was just crazy. 2020, beginning of 2020 was wild, wild west. Yeah. And I loved every ounce of it. I got really burnt out. I did. It was a good year. And then 2021, 2021 was good too. 2022, I feel like I really regained center and regained this sense of my why, like why I do this. You know what I mean? And I get to help and serve my clients. It's not about, I could name someone, I remember in business, everyone's like, know your numbers. I'm like, I could tell you the name of every client I've ever helped.
You're really good at that.
I could I don't know that I could.
You probably could remember most of the addresses.
I don't know about that house numbers now. Yeah. I'm such a numbers girl, but I don't know about the house numbers now.
Well, that's hard.
There are certain that I remember. There are certain that I've logged. But I could probably tell you the name of the street that they live on. Even Brandy's, when Brandy bought a house with Casey way back in the day, I was a part of that a little bit. Beverly Street, down in Norman. I know that.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
She doesn't even live there anymore. She's got a new address. Yeah. which is
Brandy.
Yeah. I remember the house she bought whenever she was, I remember that.
I forgot. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, but I remember it. Yeah, definitely regaining center and regaining focus of why I do what I do, and it's not for the sake of numbers. Is that a byproduct? Absolutely. But do we help educate our clients and help them gain wealth, whether they like it or not, or know it or not? Yeah, and that feels good. Like, I love that.
Okay, so to wrap this up, this section.
Yeah.
If a buyer comes to you asking, is now a good time to buy a house? Your answer is?
I would say, Melissa, thank you for asking. And I would say, yes. The best time to buy a house was yesterday. The best time. The second best time is today.
That's right.
Buy a house today.
Your favorite expression.
And only if it makes sense for you financially.
Yeah.
If funds are there, that's the other part about life and real estate. It's all about timing, It's all about timing. And I love that too, the divine. There's always another house. There's always another buyer. There's always another, right? Like,
yeah.
But if we're...
And, that is sometimes hard for, again, buyer who enters the market. This is the first time they're buying a house in a long time. They find one they love.
Yeah.
They lose it for whatever reason, and it's, the sky is falling. But
right.
We know after having done this for so long that
it doesn't. That's the divine protecting you.
That's exactly right.
I think layman's terms, if 5 to 7 months of inventory isn't enough to kind of get your juices flowing of, hey, I'm a buyer, I've got a chance in this market.
That's right.
It's right now.
It is right now. Days
on market, 42 to 60 range. I'm a buyer. Yeah, go get you some. Go find one. Whatever,
Well, the route is you can ask for, within reason, kind of whatever you want.
Right. And
a seller has every right to tell you,
kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Lose the buyer.
Yeah,
but if it's remotely, if we can come to, if there's a win in there for both parties, let's make it happen. Let's finesse.
That's right.
But I will tell you this, and one thing about you and I, it takes a great realtor.
Oh, because
knowing those nuances and just being delicate with the information and the delivery and the timing of delivery of said things, whatever's going on.
Well, and I've told you this, you're so good at cultivating relationships with other realtors, and I have no doubt that's a big reason why you win multiple offer situations.
I want to work with me.
I think there's the old school realtor mentality, which is I'm going to fight the other realtor.
Bulldog.
I'm going to fight to get bulldog. I'm going to fight and it's what are you fighting for? We both want the same thing.
Same team.
So it's let's do what we can to help these people get what they want.
Right.
That's our job.
That's what they hired us for.
Yeah, that's our job. You don't need to come in here making this difficult for anyone. And so, it's so refreshing. And I think that has definitely been changing over the years.
Nationwide, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so now it's when you do, it's just so much more fun and pleasant of an experience when you get an agent who is like-minded, and you're it is fun.
It should be fun. It should also
be
very professional and serious.
Of course.
However,
but we don't have to make it a battle.
No. My goal is not to be trauma bonded with an agent, I was trauma bonded with a lender a couple weeks ago.
I mean, it happens.
Oh my God.
That poor thing. On your birthday weekend.
I sent him cookies.
You're on the phone at
7:30.
I was
still at the closing table.
You've got to be kidding me. Never in my life have I heard of this. Then
that was my first.
A lender being at a title company at 7 on a Friday. Any day
of the week,
let alone a Friday.
Ew. They didn't.
I love that you were fielding those calls from the back patio in Tulsa.
Me too. I hadn't really gone anywhere this year, so that felt nice. No, that was complete and utter chaos.
Yeah.
Not on lender's part or mine, but it makes. I wear that heavy. It makes me feel and look so terrible. But I'm Trong, hang in there with me. Do not leave that title company until you have keys in your hand.
Yeah.
Do not leave that.
Yeah.
Because if he left, he gone. Right. Yeah. That's probably not funny until next Friday.
Yeah. That was a weird deal.
Honestly, I think.
Tell me about this woman who you've been dying to tell me about, and I've been making you
leave a little cliffhanger for the next episode. Lynn Harden.
Why? I'm going to hear all about it as soon as we're...
I can't hold it in for
Tell me
2
now!
weeks.
What?
So, I don't know. I think the more and more I am on this journey of self-discovery and just connected to self. So I met this neighbor of mine walking. She was walking her little Louie, like 10-pound, less than 10-pound little poodle mix, right? And Wally, just like 12 times this guy's size. I was behind, Wally and I were walking, I was behind her. He's got little legs. I mean, like, Wally and I kind of book it. And she's just as tall as I am. Just, oh man, it's crazy. Because, like, we were chatting. Oh, I was on cloud 9 that morning. Like, who even knows what was going on? I was just high on life, right? And so we were talking, and her son went to Westminster, and we were just like talking. She was heading out to Florida to go visit him, but whenever she gets back, like, let's have coffee. I want you to show you my backyard. I was like, Lynn, I love it. I was like, I think that sounds great. I'll be there. She goes, here's my address. She like told me where she lived. She told me the street name. I didn't log it right then. But of course I went on county and I looked her up afterward. And I sent her, yeah. People go to OCN, people go to Facebook and like stalk people. No, I went to county records. I'm like, where does she live? You know, she told me. So I felt like it was okay to go look her up. I sent her a little card.
Of course she did. Of course she did.
Just telling her it was great to meet her, and I can't wait to reconnect, you know, in the future whenever she comes back. And she went to Florida since we had connected initially. She went to Florida, and then she went to Mexico on vacation with her company. Don't ask me what she does because I can't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But anyway, so I texted her asking her if it, you know, when would be a good time to grab coffee, and you know, bring coffee and pastries over. And so that was today. And I kid you not, she is a powerful woman.
Is she you in 20 years or what?
Oh,
20? How much older?
Is
that about right?
Maybe 30.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, 40.
Years older? Oh, she's okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
30 to 40.
Okay.
If I had to guess, she's like Tim Martin's age, like early 70s.
Okay. Okay, I'm liking this. Okay. What's her name? Lynn. Lynn. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed.
Okay, why?
Her story, she is so cool. The power that is within her. And it's crazy because, like, I just, like, bopped right on in. I, like, had my coffees, and I took the liberty of getting her black coffee, assuming she took it black, you know. And I got some pastries for us. And zero expectations for me coming over. And
yeah.
She invited me into her home.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
a random off the street.
I know. You met her out walking. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. And I'm so
Universe
blessed.
Having your paths cross for sure.
And obviously, something that's been heavy on my heart is my shame that I've carried so long about narcissism and narcissistic relationships and all of that, and my own experience with, you know, a former boyfriend of mine. She also went through a similar experience with her husband, her son's father. They're no longer together. Doesn't wear a wedding band. I believe, if I had to guess, she's single. I don't know for sure. But that whole house, that's her own. Her house is so cool. I imagine, like, her house is what my house would look like after someone came in and, like, decorated it for me. Like, I don't know how to do that. She was just, her frequency, her vibration, just soaring. And you could feel that. And so she was just sharing pretty much her entire story. And I'm like, dang, tennis, horses, Florida, Palm Beach, just like,
you're channeling that.
I was like, you name it. I was like, Lynn, I'm bought in. Like, whatever you're selling, I'm bought in. I was like, but it was very cool. Just seeing a lot of similarities too. Her mother happened to be narcissistic, so she shared a little bit about that.
Oh wow! And then she married a narcissist.
Yep. She called it a disease, and I was like, you know what, Lynn? That's it's weird to couch it like that, but it is a really evil one, like an incredibly evil disease that is there turning around?
That's what I'm wondering.
As a narcissist, like, is there ever a 180 of, like, you know? I don't know. And you know what? I'm not here to solve the world's problems or the narcissist problems. You just set it free and let it go, because that would be banging your head against the wall.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us who have had relationship with them
that have survived it
have tried that, you know?
To rationalize it, to anything. Nope. You have your own boundaries now. And for me, I am 5, 6, 7. I'm 7 years post, and there is life after. There is life after, and it's crazy because when you're in the midst of it, you have no idea who you are. They've made you believe that you're nothing, that you're worthless, that you're disposable, and the damage to self-concept and just your overall health and wellness. Oh my God, are you kidding me? It wasn't debilitating. It wasn't debilitating for me necessarily, but I was ready to leave Oklahoma. I sold my house fall of 2018. I sold my house. I was rock bottom. I've had low points in my life, with like tires and like flat tires.
Well, narcissists literally just suck the life out of you.
They leech onto something that is so whole, something that is so good, because if
they aren't that, they want to become that. That's what they want to be.
And they want anybody who knows has a little glimpse of who they are.
Yep.
Well, if she's fabulous or he's fabulous, it works both ways.
Yeah.
Because there are female narcissists.
Oh, I encountered one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't know what a narcissist was until that, and then I was like, "What the fuck's happening?" And
it's a different ballgame.
Through therapy, I learned
the awareness around it.
Yeah.
Something that's been really heavy on my heart, and I've shared it with you, and obviously not that I'm not willing or able to be vulnerable about it, but I think the more and more along I go on my journey, I'm here. My soul's purpose is to shed light on that and the shame around it, and that had nothing to do with me. Did I learn a lot from that and heal from that? Absolutely. But that's a them thing. The thing is, why did I attract that? And that's what I've been healing. It has nothing to do with them. That would be beating your head against the wall to try and heal that, right? It's an internal work thing. And how did I attract that? What was going on? What cycles am I repeating in my adult life that happened in childhood?
I also think a lot of that comes from age, experience,
wisdom,
lower level of consciousness.
Ooh, yeah.
We didn't know who we were still learning ourselves at those times. Like
age 22 to 25.
Your level of self-awareness at that time was
very low.
Worlds away from where you are now.
Right.
And so it's like now we would never attract that.
No.
And
or
even if someone entered if someone entered our circle that was like that, it'd be an immediate no. Yeah. Like you could pass, now that you're aware of it, it's like you can pick up on it so fast.
I did it earlier this year.
You did?
Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
They have a way of...
very sly and charming.
Absolutely.
Very charming.
Covert, if you will. I'm usually attracted to the ones that are a little bit louder. Because they can hang.
Yeah, and they're usually smart.
But it's ill intent.
Yeah.
And that's where those lines get very blurry, because it's the audacious, big, loud energy that I was paired up with in my early 20s. I was also that,
Yeah.
But
that's funny because I just didn't.
But in an innocent way, in a very innocent,
authentic, genuine kind of way, just being you.
Why would you?
I know.
It's weird.
I know. It's because we don't even think like that, so it's like you can't even fathom.
Pulling a fast one on us at a younger age, lack of experience.
I know. We're not showing you any attention.
Of course.
Come here.
Of course that's the case.
Lay down.
Anyway, some one-on-one conversations and coffees I've had with friends and newcomers lately have also shed light on their experience with narcissists, and I feel like that was Jay, go talk about it, right? You take the shame away by talking about it. And so I feel like for the longest time I never wanted to talk about it, didn't want to say his name. But it's not about him, it's about my experience and all of my growth since. Man, I'm a new person since then. There is life after abusive relationships. There is life after narcissistic interactions. And I think that there's hope. Are you kidding me? There are good humans out there.
Yes, of course.
And knowing certain signs and knowing certain patterns and behaviors of someone who plays, because it gets thrown around really flippantly, right? It does.
It does. It does. And that's kind of
But unless you're in it, in the thick of it,
yeah.
To be able to attest to that, right? Not denying anyone's reality. If you believe you have dealt with one, I believe it. Because I have, and I'm not going to deny your reality. But dang, the aftermath of that, there's only breakdown equals breakthrough. There's only going up after that. Right, Missy? There's only going up.
Yeah.
Yes, there's only going up. And that's it. That's my unique, part of my unique story. And Lynn also had light to shed on that. Which is cool. And look at her now. She's a boss. She's an absolute boss.
There's life after.
There is life after. and
abundance and fullness.
And not to lose hope. Mm-hmm. Not to lose hope. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Cut.